Hello, BookTube. I've come to you today with a bit of a book haul. I received some books. I will explain a little more about that in a moment. Sorry, I've had to try this a few times. I'm having some coughing fits here. But I want to start out with sort of not books, but book related. I've got a stack of catalogs from the early 2000s from a science fiction slash fantasy slash horror bookseller from London called Fantasy Center. Early 2000s. First one here is February 2008. Um, yeah. And it's got a wide ranging. It's short. It's just it's your typical like double columned. And I love old catalogs. The older the better. But Dave Bresky said he had some of these, and I said, yeah, sure, that'll be fun to look through. And I have been having a lot of fun. So thanks, Dave, for sending them along. I received these a couple weeks ago, and I wasn't feeling that well to uh, get a video up about them. So I do apologize, Dave, for that. But I've been sitting here occasionally going through these, and it's a different selection in each one pretty well. There's new books highlighting a publisher, hardcovers, paperbacks usually, and then I saw one of them had quite a big list of ace doubles. There's also a magazine section. Um, yeah. Australian American science fiction. Uh, yeah, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so and then there's a reference section. The reference section is cool. So yeah, so I've been going through these. So again, thanks, Dave, for sending them. I keep them here by my chair, and also too, I guess you would call it a postcard, but it's an advertisement from Christie's for an auction of film posters. Now, wouldn't that be cool to have that as a poster? Bigger than this, even, but yeah, that'd be cool. An African Queen. So let me set this aside. They want to slide here. Yeah, the books that I got, I had to open them up. The box came absolutely trashed, and I wanted to open them up while the courier was there, just to check everything. They seem to be all okay. One has a slight small tear in the dust jacket, but that may or may not have been by the bad handling of the box. Now, they're from my favorite remainder house here in the UK called Postscript Books, or psbooks.co.uk. Um, they have general books, but also academic, university press, Overstock. Excuse me. I haven't bought from them for a long time. I used to heavily, when I was working, buy a lot from them. But a friend of mine, who I think must have been almost 2 years ago now, bought a set. It was the last set of books that were available for this set that they had, and it disappeared. So she got a credit for it, and she got an email saying use it or lose it by the end of the month. There was nothing for her to want it, so she opened it up for me. So I gave her the list. She ordered them, and they came here. I got something extra that was a couple pounds more than the credit, so I just need to throw her the bones. No, transfer 3 pounds something, just over 3 pounds. But yeah, let's go through the books. This one I'd known about. Most of these I've known about, but this here I didn't realize it was so small. It's a book of letters, a friendship in letters. It's Robert Louis Stevenson and J.M. Barrie, edited by Michael Shaw. But yeah, it's a small little book. Well, it's just a little bigger maybe than a mass market. Oh, well, I mean not a mass market, but the trade size paperback. This was published by Sandstone Press, and I don't see a date here. Oh, 2020. Okay, so it is like I knew about this. I seen that, but I didn't realize it was so small. It's got a little ribbon in there as well, but it's exactly what it says. It's the correspondence between um, Stevenson and Barry. So that will be interesting. Now another one is the next one is Robert A. Heinlein, and it's a hardcover. Well, they're all hardcovers. And this is The Pleasant Profession of Robert A. Heinlein by Farah Mendelssohn. And this was published by Unbound. And these are all relatively new books. Or for me, this is 2019. This could be the oldest one in the pile. And as I say, published by Unbound. It's a critical study of Robert A. Heinlein's books. And Farah Mendelssohn says she's a historian and critic. She chaired the Science Fiction Foundation and served as the president of the International Association of the Fantastic in the Arts. Has been involved in both national and international convention running. So this could be interesting. It's he's not a favorite writer of mine, but I've got the 2-volume history biography of him and a few other studies. So this is something new, and it encompasses all his work. Again, these are really nice. I when I go to this site, I can spend tons of money. But I had, like, as I say, when I was working, I did. When I got some overtime, I bought some books, usually. Now, this is The Riddle of the Rosetta. Now, I'll probably butcher the second author's name, but it's Jed Z Bald, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, and Diane Greco Jose Forwitz. Yeah, and this is Princeton University Press. It's pretty hefty. It's a 560-page book with the index, and it's exactly what it says. It's a history of the Rosetta Stone. And it says how an English polymath and a French polyglot discovered the meaning of Egyptian hieroglyphics. And as I say, it's published by Princeton University Press, 2020. So I've been looking for, well, that one I knew about. I knew about it, but I'd forgotten until I saw it again. But I'm looking forward to reading some Egypt. Like I've got a few things and I want to get them all together, and at some point I'm going to read some of it's rereading, but some of it's new. Like this will be a new read on Egyptian archaeology or Egyptology. Now here you go. I was aware of this person, but I never realized there was a book. It's The Captain and the Cannibal, an epic story of exploration, kidnapping, and the Broadway stage. It's written by James Fairhead, by, again, Yale University Press. And let's just read a little bit here. It says, sailing in uncharted waters of the Pacific in 1830, Captain Benjamin Morrill of Connecticut became the first outsider to encounter the inhabitants of a small island off New Guinea. The contact quickly turned violent. Fatal cannons were fired. Are there any other types? Okay. And Morrill abducted young Daco, a hostage, so shocked by the white complexions of his kidnappers that he believed he had been captured by the dead. and this is about Daco, who was taken, and finally I think he was returned. Um, but he's I guess the inspiration or partial inspiration for Queequeg in Moby Dick by Herman Melville, and it says in Poe's Pym. So that will be interesting. It's a bit of exploration, a little bit of everything. So that'll be fun. It's not that big. Well, it's 370 pages, so that's not too bad. Looks thinner than that. As I say, it's Yale University Press. It's a volume in their New Directions in Narrative History. And this is probably the oldest, 2015. Now this is a history of the bed. Yes, you heard it here. A history of the bed. An intimate history by Michel Perrot, and it was translated from French by Lauren Elkin. Again, a bit of a shorter one. Yeah, still 300 some pages. It doesn't look that big, but it looks like 250 pages. Yale University Press, and this was published in 2018. So I was wrong. I thought 2019 was the oldest. So this is 2018. And yeah, it just goes through the history of the bed, or the bedroom, sorry. History of the bed. Did I say the bed? The bedroom. History of the bedroom. All the way up to modern times. So I like those kind of weird histories. Now we're getting into more choice territory here. Majestic River. Mungo Park and the exploration of the Niger. Now this is it would have been nice if it was bigger. Lots of notes. Oh, a heck of a lot of notes, but endnotes, sadly. Almost 350 pages. Some color inserts. It's by Berlin, the publisher, and this was published in 2022. So this is quite new. This is not only the history of Mungo Park, but also a history of the river, as well as all the exploration that went to it to find. He found sort of the direction the river was going, but didn't find its was it the source or the where it went to. Let's see here. It says Mungo Park achieved lasting fame in 1796 by solving the first part of the Niger problem. Which way did the river run? Park died in 1806 in circumstances which are still uncertain and failing to solve the second. Where did the Niger end? Yeah, so it was where did it end? So that's part of the story too, and the history of the, and probably by the looks of it, some sort of natural history of the Nile, the river. So another one here. This was the one that sort of put me over a little bit, but not by much. As I say, £3. The Great Apes: A Short History by Chris Hertzfeld, translated by Kevin Frey, and a foreword by Jane Goodall. Isn't he cute? I'm assuming it's a he. Maybe it's a she. Let's see. This is Yale University Press again. Let's see. 2017. And it's just over 300 pages. So it's a short history of the Great Apes. But that'll be fun to read. Now, to me, this might be the best one that I got. But I was really surprised to see this. I knew it existed, and I know nothing about the person, or relatively nothing, that should say, and that's not surprising. This is Charles Huber, if that's the pronunciation, France's greatest Arabian explorer. and it's by William Facey. Facey or Fassey. This is quite substantial. It's got bibliographical or biographical information, plus a translation of his first journey to Arabia in 1881. I think it was published. His first. He was. It says he was a geographer. He lived he was born in 1847 to 1884, and he was killed on his second journey or coming back by his guides. And the first travels that is translated here is the first time it's been translated into English, and it was public. Oh, actually, yeah, it was. No, okay. The travels were in 1881, but it was translated or published in 1885. So this is the first time it's been republished and in English. The first time since 1885. So I'm really, really stoked to get this. And that's Arabian Publishing. Let's see here. 2022. So this will be really cool. I've got a number of books that are sort of this type of thing, some exploration in Egypt and elsewhere, things that have not been published either in English or at all until more recently. So they'd be kind of an interesting thing to do, to spend a month reading at some point. So I think that's it. So that's my little book haul. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, and this is only part of them, and the catalogs, the science fiction / horror / fantasy / weird catalogs. So yeah, so thank you, BookTube, and yeah, I'll see you next time. I got some new medication, so I'm beginning to feel a little better. A little better, well, a lot better than I have for the last weeks or months. So it might be too early to compliment and say it was the medication, but may it continue. Thank you, BookTube.